is not always better, and these products are proof of that.
Obviously, people are having a hard time adapting to it and accepting it.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 biggest tech flops.
The Pippin platform is being positioned by Apple as a new media appliance for access to a vast array of interactive content.
For this list, we're looking at gadgets and gizmos that failed to garner consumer attention or demand, and as a result, became a commodity fail for the brands that designed them.
Ouya is a new game console for the television that's built on Android, open source technology. It's an inexpensive game console for gamers.
We're also including software and services as part of this list, provided that they fall within the tech sphere. Number 10. Juju.
I mean, it looks cool.
As they'd suffered massive negative press after a fallout with initial co-developer Michael Arrington, Fusion Garage and their Juju tablet were brand blunders long before entering the touchscreen tournament. When finally released after several delays, the Juju was universally panned for its criminal lag, 5-hour battery life, and uncreative interface. Further criticized was its failure in portability, with the final dimension specs being nearly 3/4 of an inch thick and 12.5 inches wide, and weighing nearly 2.5 pounds.
Its elongated form isn't great for portability either, and as far as tablets go, the Juju is pretty big.
As a result, the Juju's failure ultimately gave Fusion Garage their own short battery life, when the company filed for bankruptcy over a year and a half later.
The capacitive touchscreen is decent, but it's not the greatest.
Number 9. The Sinclair C5.
The Sinclair C5, £399.
Marketed as a one-person, quote, electrically assisted pedal cycle, this now retro-looking tricycle takes the shape of a pod straight out of an 80s film's vision for the future.
A safe, reliable, pollution-free electric vehicle which can be driven on the road by anyone.
Designed with portability and space friendliness in mind, the Sinclair C5 was advertised as an alternative to cars and bikes.
That needs no license, no road tax, and you can drive whether you're 14 or 40.
However, in the end, the C5 was impractical for consumers due to its low speed range, shoddy weather endurance, and awkward control scheme. This led to poor reviews and even poorer sales, and finally a cease in production less than 7 months after its launch. It then notoriously became known as, quote, one of the great marketing bombs of post-war British industry. Ouch.
For wet weather, there are side panels in a range of colors, and a designer-styled weather cheater to keep you warm and dry.
Number 8. The Palm Folio.
This is the beginning of a product family for us, and we can see it going in many directions.
Designed to be what would have been the market's first netbook device, Palm's simple, slick, and ultra-convenient laptop was a complete failure at launch. Announced in 2007, this Linux-based sub-notebook was built to serve as a companion for Palm Trio users, featuring the same email, organizer, and web browsing software the phones were noted for.
What we want to do is bring that large screen and full keyboard to the data that's on your smartphone.
A little over 3 months after its announcement, the Folio ceased further development following a multitude of negative reviews from critics and a drastic decline in the company's revenue in the face of the smartphone wars.
When we started this company in 1992, it was based on a very simple vision, that the future of personal computing would be mobile.
Meanwhile, in 2009, the Trio was replaced by the Palm Pre, which, despite initial promising sales, eventually led to Palm's acquisition by HP.
In the future, people can have these very powerful portable computers in their pocket.
Number 7. Betamax.
Oh, what is that? This is the Sony Betamax.
Long before the DVD slayed Laserdisc and Blu-ray crushed HD DVD, there was the first home video format war, Betamax versus VHS.
You just select the channel you want, and with Trinitron, you get the best picture possible.
Introduced in the US 6 months after its release in Japan, Betamax involved a 6-inch wide video cassette that was much smaller and lighter than its VHS counterpart. Initially, it drew attention with the console's home recording capabilities.
With the Sony Betamax and the portable Sony videotape camera, you can do just that. You can record what you want when you want, and watch what you want when you want.
Still, despite Betamax's superior image quality and smoother console engineering, it was ultimately VHS that was crowned as the victor by consumers, mainly for its superior playing speeds and longer running times.
It's the best family entertainment on television.
One more shot, Ma. Come on, smile.
Number 6. The Fire Phone.
With, the flick of your wrist, you can get an additional menu.
Following the astonishing success of their Kindle Fire ebook readers and Fire tablets, Amazon looked to further expand their Android-based Fire OS family by setting its eyes on the cell phone market. Announced as an AT&T exclusive in mid-2014, Amazon's take on the smartphone came with several neat innovations, including the dynamic perspective feature for apps and games, and Firefly, a text, sound, image, and object recognition tool.
It's almost like the world is a hyperlink.
Nevertheless, the Fire Phone was met with underwhelming reception and sales.
Oh yeah, new Amazon Fire Phone. It comes with Amazon Prime. Tons of cool stuff for no extra charge.
Really? Thus, it was quickly dropped by retailers and even pulled off of Amazon's own store the following year. Not so hot for a device with fire in its name.
Fire Phone, the first smartphone designed by Amazon.
Number 5. Apple Maps.
Don't tell me this is Zune bad.
I'm sorry, Gavin. It's Apple Maps bad.
Released in September 2012, Apple's take on mapping services was immediately made the default navigation system for all their existing devices.
Now, obviously, Apple, with its cult-like following, to see something like this happen was very strange.
Shortly thereafter, users complained about what was already perceived as a Google Maps knockoff, the biggest criticisms being slow speeds, inaccurate traffic data, and, oh yeah, just incorrect directions.
I do have the option of taking a quick trolley ride to get partway there. Google Maps is able to give me transit directions while Apple Maps directs me to use Google Maps.
As seemingly trivial as these errors may seem, they eventually reached the point that numerous governments began to warn users of their potentially fatal inaccuracies.
Well, we're going to fix it.
We're going to fix it.
We're going to fix it.
Exactly.
One major case saw several users stranded in a high-temperature Australian park 40 miles from their intended destination. While Ireland's Ministry of Defence had to warn consumers that a non-existent airport was showing near Dublin in the service. So, huge fail.
I still prefer Google Maps to Apple. It's not frilly, it provides more glanceable information, and when you're reporting a missing location, Google Maps does not refer to it as a problem.
Number 4. Blockbuster Total Access.
Hey! I don't have to wait.
Created in response to the then rising media empire that is Netflix, Blockbuster Total Access was built with convenience in mind.
What if you're thinking, let's watch another movie right away? With Netflix, you mail them back and wait.
Carbon copying Netflix's DVD by mail strategy, Total Access also permitted subscribers to return their rentals to a brick-and-mortar location in exchange for new titles in or out of their queue.
Say hello to Blockbuster. They deliver movies right to your mailbox, too.
However, despite surpassing its subscriber quota, the program quickly failed because most independently owned Blockbuster franchises declined to honor the service.
You're just a mouse click away from a better way to rent movies.
One major franchise even took the company to court, alleging that Total Access breached contract terms. Throw in a patent infringement lawsuit from Netflix, and you've got quite the product fail drama worthy of a film adaptation.
Netflix was basically, get what you want when you want it, and knew that they would move away from the DVD business to the download video business.
Number 3. Philips CDI.
You'd probably feel pretty dumb and maybe even fake it like you'd already experienced the ultimate in games, movies, music, and more.
Most of us remember Apple's video game console fail, the Pippin.
All right, and a Pippin CD will run on a Mac or run under Windows?
That's right, it will certainly run on a Mac.
And who can forget Nintendo's dreadful attempt to pass off the Virtual Boy as a quote-unquote portable console.
Virtual Boy, see it now in 3D.
However, the biggest out-of-character product fail is none other than Philips with their Compact Disc Interactive.
Insert disc and close.
Has anyone even heard of this? Panned for its graphics, game titles, and controls at the time, it's been consistently ranked as one of the worst gaming systems ever to be put on the market.
This is CDI, Compact Disc Interactive.
Intended to compete with fourth-gen giants like Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, the CDI was ultimately a commercial failure that caused Philips to lose over $1 billion.
I get it. This is cool.
All right, so try serving.
Number 2. Zune.
So you can actually share your files with other Zooners. Zooners, is that a word? I'm not really sure.
Even the world's largest computer company isn't safe from the occasional ouchie, what with its track record of flops that includes the Spot Watch and the Kin.
Kin, a Windows phone born to manage your social life, living only on Verizon.
But who can forget the Zune? Despite impressive reviews from critics and users, Zune's entrance into commerce came at a time when its primary competitor, guess which one, had already established a borderline monopolized foothold in the market.
It's so thin, it's so sleek, it's so lightweight, and it's perfect for you on the go.
This, coupled with inferior marketing strategies, mediocre software support, and a lack of innovation, sent the Zune straight to Flopsville, with the devices pulled from production in 2012, and the remaining services retired in 2015.
Hey Bill, would you help me program my Zune? Oh wait, I have an iPod like the rest of the world. Why you?
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable, or in this case dishonorable mentions.
Share your family photos. Access your digital music collection. Watch user-generated videos or internet TV in either standard or full screen mode.
It lets you quickly do things you're used to doing on your phone, but in a more convenient, less obtrusive way.
Number 1. Google Glass.
Tap the touchpad to wake up Glass.
So far, we've covered tablets, laptops, and gaming consoles. But who would have ever thought that eyewear could find its way onto this list? And from Google, no less.
Whatever happened to Google Glass?
It's still out there, but you know what? Sales of Glass stop at the end of this month.
Though certainly an innovative and dandy device, the Google Glass prototype was ultimately a failure for its not-so-wallet-friendly price tag, lack of special features, and the legislative actions it sparked due to privacy and safety concerns.
Hey man, you almost here?
I have no idea.
Dude, what happened to your face?
I ran into a couple walls.
Moreover, the product failed to impress most users, with many calling the device more of an intricate eyesore than a convenience.
The display should be above your line of sight. Yep, just like that.
Google announced they'd cease production of the prototype in early 2015, and though the company plans on continuing to develop it, as of early 2016, Google Glass is one of the fastest product flops ever to be released, tech or otherwise.
I think that the sort of effect that would have on how we interact socially would be quite profound and actually quite strange.
Do you agree with our list? Which tech flop do you think bombed the worst?
Sonic Adventure on Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
For more flashy top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Trust me, babe, I know about this CDI stuff.